This episode is powered by denmeditation.com. Though meditation is the primary focus, the bigger goal is for people to understand and love themselves, thus creating more harmony in the community at large. To find out more about Den Meditation's teacher training programs, retreats, and all things Den Meditation, go to denmeditation.com. I have Rose Theodora with me today because we are doing the April energy forecast. And just if you guys don't know, I love to get this forecast because April is my birthday. It is my month. I claim it. I love it all. And I cannot wait to hear. Hopefully there's some good stuff, but I cannot wait to hear what's happening so I can get in the zone. But thank you, Rose. Your forecasts are always amazing. We love having you here and we're so excited for April. Will you tell me, should we be excited for April or should we not? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty intense, because the eclipses are in April. They start on May 25th, and then April is one of these cardinal points. It's like when we turn the kind of clock of time and everything starts getting faster and faster and more chaotic. We have meteor showers for the first time in 78 years. We have an eclipse on April 8th, a solar eclipse. And this is connected to last year's. Do you remember it was called a blue moon. So we had two back-to-back new moons, one of them being an eclipse last year. The first day of Aries season, I think it was March 20, and then we had April 21st, the new moon in Aries. So we had one at the beginning degree of Aries, very, very cardinal point, the new beginning, and the introduction of the eclipses in the pair of opposing signs, Aries and Libra. So we started that theme of self-actualization, and balancing relationship dynamics. And that started last March and April. And this is going to continue. It's like we kind of turned a chapter and we've been in that chapter all year long. And then we are going to start over, but it's like we're rereading the chapter with new information, but also new events. So, same information, new events. So it's like a repeat again. And it's chaotic. Eclipses are, eclipse seasons are evolutionary. We always want to leave a lot of space around the eclipse. So before and after. Eclipse season is technically March 25th until April 8th. And you want to leave a window on each end so that you can really adapt and leave space for unexpected things, leave room in your schedule.
What thematically are they going to be experiencing that if they can be open to, they'll get more out of this eclipse?
So eclipses come in pairs, and there are about 4 per year. So eclipses will alternate in opposing pair of signs. So the eclipses we're experiencing this year in 2024 are in the opposing signs of Aries, the sign that is about the I am presence, self, and the opposing sign Libra, which is about you and the other, the I, we, or the we presence, not the I am. So you have the I am presence and you have the we presence. And Libra and Aries are a perfect balance for one another. Each of us has Libra and Aries, the axes, somewhere in our natal chart and our lives. So for each of us, there's a personal story of where do I fit into this picture? And how can I show up fully as me and participate in the dynamic? And how can there be more reciprocity based on how my needs have changed and what is authentically me or who I'm becoming? And that's hard for a lot of people, especially people who have a lot of Libra placements natally, or who are accustomed to appeasing others before they know what they need and who they are or what they want. So for all of us, there's a dynamic of how can I take more personal risk? What do I need to do? How can I take more accountability to be more fully myself so that I can show up and be more active and participate in a relationship? How can it be more based on reciprocity? That might mean that a person can speak more freely about their needs and therefore listen to what their partner needs too and make those changes based on that. It's a time of personal risk in business. It could be for an individual a time of being more proactive about their health. So it's going to vary slightly for everyone. And again, you can intuitively feel this if you just listen to your experiences or survey what's happening for you right now in this time in April. What's coming up for you? Where are you feeling like you're pushed to take more risk, or you have played an experience or a relationship out and a dynamic needs to shift in order for there to be better reciprocity or better balance? So this is this is the theme that we're all going through right now. And eclipses magnify this opposition within us of self and other. But Mercury goes retrograde April 1, your birthday. Also, yeah. So, it goes retrograde until April 25th.
Oh, wow.
So it's most of the whole month.
What is it retrograde in?
It starts in Aries and it retrogrades through Aries most of the season. Mm-hmm. And all the retrogrades we have this year are in fire signs, which means there's some kind of we're revisiting the way in which we create our lives and the way in which we use the fire element of courage and confidence. Like, how can you dig into your past and specifically tied to last March and April and look at the correlation? Like, what are you continuing? What are you having a chance to revisit and reconnect to in regards to you taking charge of your life? What opportunities are presenting themselves to you? So the eclipses are a huge deal. We have comets that haven't been close to Earth in 78 years that are coming back also around this eclipse period. So it's a lot of change. It's a lot of stuff happening.
And what is like so if Mercury is going to be in retrograde in Aries, talk a little bit about what that means.
Mercury retrograde in Aries is about rethinking. If you add the prefix rethinking, revisiting, reconnecting to self. Aries is the I am presence. Aries is the part of us. Every single person has Aries within them, right? In their natal chart and in their life somewhere. And we all approach a part of our life like an Aries, just this one part in our natal chart. And it's really about reconnecting to that part of you and reconnecting to your ability to respond to life. That's what Mercury in Aries retrograde means. How are you revisiting your ability to respond to life bravely and to take charge and to take risk, to take greater risk? I mean, you're an Aries, Tal. You've got Aries medicine, you can speak to us all. What does it mean to be an Aries?
I think it's one of the things I teach all the time is, I'm not very afraid of change. And I think that's part of what you're talking about too, is this just sense of risk taking doesn't feel as risky. It feels like a necessity almost to change and evolve, to feel like you're actually yourself.
Yeah. Totally. And you said it. It's like, how can you also, as an Aries, you actually are a catalyst for change, right? You can't, whether it's emotional, whether it's situational, kind of whether it's like you're responding to life and that pulse of life, that natural inclination to live life. I think of Aries as like the blood that runs through our veins. It's got to respond. It's got to flow. And there's an intensity, right? It's like, Aries is always functioning, and maybe you can speak to this. There's an urgency and there's this like immediacy that needs to happen with Aries, right? Because Aries is a sign ruled by Mars. And so it's like our life force energy. What lights us up? What gets our blood pumping?
And I feel like, and you quickly feel it when it's not.
Yep. Yeah. And the other thing with Aries too is the ability we have to defend our right to live the way we want
We
to
want
live,
to.
to respond. Yeah,
Yeah,
to
that I always feel
self-actualize.
very strongly as an Aries. And it's something I sometimes have to work on, especially as a mom, because like you can
Right.
almost feel it, like you said, in your blood when it's like something you don't want to be doing or don't want, and you can almost feel it. It's funny. So, okay, so you're revisiting that in this time period. You're revisiting this idea of what it is you truly want, right? And how you're willing to take risks in order to honor it.
Yeah. Yeah. And universe, life, your experiences will show you what that is. We can look all day outside of ourselves for someone or something to tell us what that is. But if you just pay attention, if you just feel into your, your body and you recognize what does get your blood pumping, either to defend it or to actualize something, it will be so evident,
Hmm.
right?
So that's an
So
interesting
that's,
theme for the month.
yeah, it's super powerful. And then we have the planets that are very close to the sun. So once a season starts, Aries season is primarily most of April. We have Venus, the planet of harmony, that enters Aries on April 5th, which will feel good for you as an Aries, which will feel good for other people who have a fire sign. Venus, but Venus entering Aries for all of us, it's a little bit confrontational because Venus wants to receive and wants harmony just by kind of, I think of the reclining Venus, just by laying low. But when Venus is in Aries, like she is on April 5th, it's about initiating something, initiating harmony, going after the things that you want, being proactive in relationship. But then we have still Mercury retrograde. So we're
Mhm.
realizing what we want to be proactive about, but there's a little bit of a delay because Mercury's retrograde. So we need to bite our tongue for a minute before we say anything or before we take action. We just need to be a little bit patient, and it will help because Mars, the planet of taking action, is in Pisces until it enters Aries at the end of the month on the 30th.
Well, that's interesting. So I think that clue and that key of being patient is a big gift to those listening to the forecast, because when you describe all of that, I get the sense that that's actually going to feel a little pressury, like almost like a trapped feeling at times, because it's going to be like what you were describing, Venus and Aries. It's not that just the harmony of your life is all around you. You almost have to seek it out. But then, as you were saying, with Mercury in retrograde and then with Mars not quite, Mars in Pisces, you're not going to necessarily, like you said, you have to be patient because you're not going to almost know how to seek it out or how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that so that's a good warning, I think, for people, that there might be, I keep holding my chest because I keep getting this feeling of like it might feel a little like trapped, like you want something, but you almost don't know how to get it, and you're upset it's not around you.
Yeah, yeah, you nailed it. And with Mars, Mars is our connection to body and that which motivates us. It's like Mars is what we're willing, how we take action, what we're willing to defend. When it's an Aries, a water sign, an immutable water sign, there is no clear action to take. It is intuitive. It is felt. It could
And it's
be
Pisces.
confusing. It's Pisces
Yeah.
until the end of the month. So the end of the month is really active. The beginning of the month, we have the eclipse, which is super active, but Mercury's retrograde. So it's really about not planning a tight schedule for all of April, really being patient,
Mm.
recognizing what does light you up and where in your body you feel it and how you want to respond, and where you're feeling like you need more you time. That's a big one. Where can you take more time for yourself? How can you honor your life and your needs? It's very important. And then Venus is affirming this on April 5th, then the eclipse on April 8th. And then it's the end of the month that things start to pick up again. So we have the biggest deal, I think, in addition to the eclipse. Jupiter has been in Taurus since last spring. Jupiter is the planet of our future vision, what we believe in, where our future goals or our sights are kind of sat, like what's on the horizon, what we're instilling faith in, and the part of our life that is growing right now. So Jupiter and Taurus, we're all as a collective wanting to grow financially, wanting to improve the quality of our lives, getting really into things like somatic healing and embodiment. And Jupiter is going to meet the planet Uranus in Taurus on April 20th. And this is also, Uranus is a planet of liberation. Uranus is a planet of disruption, and that has a negative connotation. It doesn't need to be negative. It could be just that you have become accustomed to something being a particular way, and Uranus in Taurus is disrupting what that security is, where you are too secure, where you rely too much on habit. There's a stuckness, and Uranus has been for a few years now, for a while, really helping us to become unstuck in our habitual ways. And so when Uranus meets Jupiter on April 21st, there's this like kind of aha moment. There's a realization. There is discovery, self-discovery, collective discoveries around how to monetize something, how to improve the quality of something. And often it's a reveal, or it's something that feels shocking, or something that we didn't quite expect. It could be very exciting. It could be arousing. Taurus is a Venus-ruled physical sign, so it could be this just real kind of heart opening too for something that we desire and want that becomes evident to us at that time.
Mm. It does. It feels like I like where April's going to. It seems like it might be tough in the middle, but it feels like it's all worth it, because towards the end of it, there's some real eye-opening moments of where you need to head. And then you have the energy to do it.
Yeah, right. And we have, collectively it can mean disruption financially, right? And just seeing how there is so much changing, how now Pluto newly will be in Aquarius until May, when it starts to go retrograde. So there's just a lot of like newness on a collective level, a lot of ways we're viewing the world that we're not accustomed to. And I feel like April's really a month of empowerment. If you can plan on a lot of unexpected things and just sort of leave space for that. I keep saying it, but it's so important.
I love that, because I think sometimes in the spring, depending where you are, people start to speed up, like leading into the summer. So it's almost like you're saying, no, keep it a little quiet still.
Yeah, it's about you. Just whether that means making time to be active with yourself or making time to go. It's not a time of really going inward. It is a time of
That's interesting.
prioritizing yourself, right? So how do you do that when you can't yet take action and it's not completely about going inward? Can you pay attention to your body? Can you pay attention to what you're desiring? Can you pay attention to what has become so played out and habitual, and where your life is in dire need of a renewal, something new, freshness? And that story is like, it's like a tiny thread that continues from last March and April, where you're realizing that story. It introduced itself last year, and now you're picking it up and continuing. You're realizing more.
I love that.
And then we have the full moon in Scorpio on the 23rd. Yeah.
But that's all about transformation too, right? Talk a little bit about thematically what that's going to be for people.
Yeah, the full moon, and it's always a revelation, right? Or some kind of reveal when we have a full moon. There's this culmination point of realizing the last 6 months. So since the new moon during Scorpio season in November 2023, there's this, oh, okay, now I understand what has really come full circle in my life. I understand what I've let go of, what I've kind of outgrown, and now how I am finding my inner strength and being resourceful to move forward or to move onward. So that's the full moon on the 23rd. And then we have on the 29th, Venus, the harmonizing planet, the planet of good weather, the planet of beauty, the planet of our needs being met. And also the negotiator enters the sign Taurus, where it was birthed in Taurus and in Libra. But Taurus is an earth sign. It's monetarily lucky. It's a time when you might discover some amazing investments, whether they be in art or jewelry. So you have this reveal, right? You have, first of all, April 19th is the beginning of Taurus season. April 20th is when Jupiter and Uranus come together, and there's this exciting realization around money and relationships and how to make your life even more quality. And then the 23rd, there's this full moon in Scorpio, realization of how you have really changed and how you've become so much more resourceful and self-reliant. And then Mars enters Aries on the next day, on April 30th. And that's
powerful.
Our home.
You know?
It's so powerful because when Mars enters Aries, it's kind of provoking the Rahu or North Node of Destiny, that magnetic point that then kicks off May.
And that's and explain to those who might be newer, Mars rules Aries, no?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's and anyone who knows that is the warrior. So that's when you fully embody kind of all of these things and you're ready to just rock and roll.
Yeah, right. Because the 25th of April, Mercury goes direct. So it's retrograde from the 1st until the 25th of April. It goes direct on the 25th. And then you have the 20th, the 23rd, the 29th, and then the 30th, Mars enters Aries. And it's you can pretty much hit the ground running. But you will also have realized a lot in the month of April about how you want to do things. So I think as long as we're not reactive and we are responding rather than reacting, we can have a really powerful and constructive personal month.
Right. So it's almost kind of you're getting all your training to be the warrior on the 30th, but you have to be patient and open to see what training you need.
Yep, exactly. And really pay attention to your body. Your body will inform you of what you feel, what you are responding to, right? We can have a knee-jerk reaction, or we can get excited. What is your body telling you? Can you be even more attuned in April and leave space for that?
Okay, I love that. Pay attention to your body in April, leave space for yourself for what your body is telling you. Gather the information, be patient, even though you may want certain things, because know that literally at the end of the month, you're kind of given your pass to go.
And a lot of realizations in April that take time to digest.
Ooh,
so
okay.
the way that eclipses work is that they create a rippling effect because the moon is passing the ecliptic, and it creates a rippling effect, kind of like a sound wave through Earth, through your nervous system. And so it's not information we're conscious of. It's information that we have to feel in the body first and digest. And so eclipses are a time when we can feel really anxious because we feel a shift, we feel a heightened energy, an increase in energy. So some people have an inability to sleep during eclipse season. Some people have a heightened anxiety. Some people get anxious about what actions to take, and then other people can feel exhausted. So it's really about paying attention to your body. I can't stress that enough.
Amazing. I think that's helpful. April's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. And why I love April is it's really it's the astrological new year, right? It's a time when light is really increasing, because we had just had in March, the autumn equinox. And so light is equalizing. Light is what becomes visible and how we know ourselves. So it is this rebirth process of, I think of Aries season 2 as that internal spark, that flame, that coming to life, that innocence of responding to what lights us up. That's really what I associate with Aries season. There's a fearlessness to be one's self without being too compromising or without overthinking things or without trying to be liked. Aries is just raw and we just show up. And so it's about really attuning to oneself in April.
I love it. That is unbelievably helpful. I think anyone listening to this, it really does give kind of that forewarning of a way to just work with the energy to like really go. You said it's not necessarily inward, but it is about yourself and paying attention.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for Aries and for April, I should say, more than Aries. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rose. You're coming back with us for May, so I can't wait to talk to you again for that, to get a sense of how this continues. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you, Tal. Thanks, Den. Bye, everybody.